In today's world, everybody is like, मेरे को UI UX बनना है because पैसा मिलता है. As a graphic designer, you jumped into UI and then UX. पैसा कितना कमाया?
When I joined HSBC, it's a MNC fintech bank. After that, I learned a lot about UI UX, and that was the turning point in my career, in my salary growth as well. Reaches like 1 lakh plus. Salary hai, but you have to give time to your career, to your passion.
Many people, specifically designers, use a lot of it. I am an empathetic designer, or I empathize with people, all of it. But असली use क्या है empathy का?
So I go to that person who are my target audiences and try to understand their point of view, their pain point, their challenges. So that is empathy.
What is the actual real journey of a designer when the client is just onboarded?
This is the challenges कि client को क्या चाहिए और क्यों चाहिए ये project. Then I went to Google and research about it, like कोई competitor है क्या कि भाई ऐसा ना हो मैंने कुछ बना दिया उनका point of view कुछ और हो.
The most important tool that they should understand deeply is the observation.
So this is the observation कि मुझे जब problem हुई तो मुझे feel हुआ कि हाँ मुझे ये problem हो रही है क्योंकि मुझे ये मिल नहीं रहा है.
Hello everyone, welcome to Unmapped Journeys, a place where we go deeper into each and every career we explore. Most of the time people have very superficial views of careers, and we, with our friends and colleagues and our guests, try to explore what it really takes to have a more successful and a more stable career throughout our career journeys. Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode with Shaily Goel, a UX design leader, a passionate mentor, and more or less a fairy godmother for a lot of UX designers, aspiring designers, to help them not just bridge the gap between their knowledge and industry expectations, but also go deeper into what she can help with them from the mentoring point of view. Shaily is not just a designer like anyone else who would be just designing wireframes and all, but she's somebody who has been working on fantastic and more deeper projects into the financial world. So let's welcome Shaily.
Hi Sachin, thank you for having me here and thank you for this wonderful introduction.
So I've heard a lot of your videos and also attended a lot of your mentoring sessions. But before that, my audience would like to know first, who is Shaily? Where is she coming from? Is Shaily a designer right from the beginning? Or is Shaily who just woke up one day and thought of becoming a UX designer and now she is a UX lead in the industry? So right from the beginning.
Okay, so my career has a lot of ups and downs. It's not like I just woke up one day and okay, now today I'm a UX designer. Nothing happened like this. So from my school days, I was a creative person, not a very studious person, like 90 plus, 100 plus. I'm not that student. I was like average one, 70, 80% in studies and more into drawing, creativity, art and craft sort of thing. So it's not like कि मेरा सारा काम pending है, but art का काम is like done. So I'm that person like. So what happened after my 12th? It was decided like I have to do something creative. It's not like I am going to do BCom, CA because I was a commerce student. So I started, my journey as from a fine arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts. It's a 4-year graduation. And in fine arts, we have multiple streams like fashion, painting, textile, and applied. Then I chose applied art because it's sort of digital work. So my manual art is not that much good, but my creative thinking and like skills, other skills like digitally skills was good. So I chose applied art. Then I entered into applied art and learned a lot of things in applied like branding, color psychology, and like what color we can use while creating some brand, etc., etc. Then I learned a lot of tools like Photoshop, Illustrator because of I was learning campaigning, graphic design, poster design. These were the things like I learned in my fine arts journey. Then I thought like, okay, so this is like what it is, fine arts, and this is the only career after fine arts like graphic design because I learned only these tools and everything. Then I looking for a job after fine arts. Then I got a call from my first company, like come and give interview and all. So I was not prepared. I was happy like, okay, I got a call for an interview because job lagna is a dream for everybody, for college student. Then I went interview के लिए. उसके बाद it happened like around 3-4 rounds and I got selected in first interview. So I was like, job lagna is easy. Then after getting job, then I realized no, getting job is easy maybe, but after getting job, when you're into job, so then the struggle starts. Then my first journey. Okay, so now I'm a graphic designer. Then what next? It's done. Okay, so I'm creating posters, logos every other day. Now I was getting bored. Okay, so what next? Then I saw my colleagues and some of my seniors, friends, they are creating some UI, some like what people today's generation are thinking, like creating some good UI, everything. So that is UI UX. Then I started learning. Okay, so this is UI UX. I have to learn because I wanted to switch my career, because this is quite boring for creating posters on a daily basis. Then I learned UI, self-taught. I used to watch YouTube videos and some podcast and other things like blogs, and some books I read a lot from Don Norman or other famous writers. Then I entered into UI UX, created some portfolio. Then I start giving interviews and I got selected as a UI UX designer. So this is like my transition from graphic to UI UX.
In today's world, everybody is like, मेरे को UI UX बनना है because पैसा मिलता है. I have a question. When you started your journey as a graphic designer, you jumped into UI and then UX. How that spanned out? And then पैसा कितना कमाया और कब से कमाया?
Okay, good question. Because this question I heard a lot, कि पैसा मिलेगा कि नहीं. Because पैसा is important for everybody, for every field. So when I started as a graphic, so I can disclose my first salary. It was 11,000 a month, जो कि मेरा कैब में चला जाता था पूरा, because I used to travel by cab. 62 में थी मेरी कंपनी. तो first salary was 11,000. उसके बाद then I switched as a UI UX designer. Then it went to around 30-40,000 in UI UX. Then it increases like around 1 lakh or 1 lakh plus. It took around 4 to 5 years, 5 years maximum. When I joined HSBC, it's a MNC fintech bank. So after that, I learned a lot about UI UX, and that was the turning point in my career, in my salary growth as well. Reaches like 1 lakh plus. Salary hai, but you have to give time to your career, to your passion, and just wait patiently. It's not like you are getting first job and you're expecting 50,000 or 1 lakh plus. It's never happened.
Okay, I have a question. Many times I've heard this term called empathy. Many people, specifically designers, use a lot of it. Be it I am an empathetic designer or I empathize with people, all of it. But asli use kya hai empathy ka? And how do you define empathy?
Nobody is an empathetic designer specifically. So I cannot say like I am an empathetic designer, because empathy is not something like, okay, designer can, have this empathy thing. Empathy is an emotion. Like everybody has that thing, right? You have also empathy. If you're talking to your mom, if you're talking to some poor people, so you have empathy, that's why you're talking politely or you're giving something. So that is empathy. Empathy is not about like only designers have, सिर्फ मेरे पास है empathy. It's not like that. So when we use that empathy word, so it means like we are just, trying to know that user, their pain points, we try to understand those users. So that is empathy. If I'm working on a project and I wanted to know their, if and buts or pros and cons of that particular challenge, like what I'm facing right now. So I go to that person who are my target audiences and try to understand their point of view, their pain point, their challenges. So that is empathy. Talking
so
to someone.
Entering in their
Right,
shoes.
right. Entering in their shoes and just to know like what problem they are facing. Just talking to them. So that is empathy. So empathy सबके पास होता है, but वो realize नहीं कर पाते कि this is empathy. Empathy is normal English word, like this is empathy. So yeah, that is empathy, like from my perspective.
Okay, I want to know one more thing about your projects that you have taken in. How have you worked into a project? And if you can maybe take us through a specific project, provided you are allowed to talk about it. But I want to go deeper into what actually goes in. Like today, your design director calls you in, there's a project, and then from there to the journey where till the time you actually meet the client for the first time, maybe asking questions, whatever. I'm just curious to know what is the actual real journey of a designer when the client is just onboarded.
Okay, basically you're asking the process, like what we follow while working on the project. What happened, like when I was in my second organization, so I got a project. So I was called by my leader. Okay, so this is the project you are going to work on. So I was
Can we
like,
talk about the project?
yeah, it was Bass Parlor. So it's a project for musicians. So anybody, any musician, could be music engineer or producer, whatever. They can register on the platform and use that, sort of LinkedIn for musicians. So it was that project. So I got to know about the project. Then I did a little bit research for myself, like what is all about music.
So when
and
you
all.
actually do the research, what you actually go through?
Okay.
Karte kya ho aap? You go on Google, you go on any other platform, try to figure out kya hota exactly.
Okay. So the research, what I have done for this project, I got a requirement. Okay, so this is the requirement and this is the challenges कि client को क्या चाहिए और क्यों चाहिए ये project. So I have all the requirements. I have gone through the requirements. Then I go to Google. Like in their region, the project was from US market, New York. Then I went to Google and research about it. Like कोई competitor है क्या इसका? If yes, then what they are doing and what we can improve it in our project. So
basically competitor analysis.
Competitor analysis, like है क्या? और if competitor नहीं है, then what is the market growth there? Music industry में. So this is like we just do a little bit research, Google research, what we call qualitative or quantitative research. We call it as in our design language. So after that, we know, okay, so this is the a very good project and requirement hai or growth hai, everything is there. Then we had a call with client to understand their, like what we call empathy. So understand their point of view. Actually वो क्या सोच रहे हैं, so that we both will be on the same page कि भाई ऐसा ना हो मैंने कुछ बना दिया उनका point of view कुछ और हो. So after getting a call with the client and I was clear, okay, so this is like what I'm going to work on. Then it was a service company. So service company में we don't have a bigger deadlines, we have a shorter deadlines because we have multiple clients every time. So then I have done with my research and I got the requirement. Then I start working user flows and journey mappings for the project. And after getting approved, those...
Sorry, I'm cutting you through. ये user journey, user maps, ये होते क्या है? Like if somebody who is a non-designer, how will they understand? Or somebody who wants to enter into this domain, is it necessary for them to understand कि ये क्या चीज़ होती है?
Yes, it is necessary because इसके बिना you cannot jump on the solution. User flow क्या होता है? User flow is a journey of your application. Like let's take example of Zomato. Zomato's main goal is to order a food, successful order a food. So start from searching the cafes or food or restaurants and then add to cart and then doing payment and all thing and everything is done. Then your food is successfully delivered. Ordered. So this is user flow. Like user ने कहाँ से start किया from splash screen, from sign up to log out, or maybe the delivered or the जो भी हमारा goal है वो complete हो गया. So this is user flow. कि यूजर का पूरे प्रोडक्ट में ऐप के अंदर फ्लो कैसा है, कहाँ से कहाँ जा रहा है. दिस इज यूजर फ्लो. इसके बिना यू कैन नॉट बिल्ड अ प्रोडक्ट. तो दिस इज द बेसिक नीड ऑफ द एप्लीकेशन. सो यू हैव टू बिल्ड यूजर फ्लो फर्स्ट बिफोर वायरफ्रेम और UI design, so that you have an idea. Okay, so this is my flow, this is the screens I am going to create this much screens, like maybe 10, 12, 100, 200. So the maximum screens I have designed, 2000 plus screens I have designed for UI only, or other from that other than UI wireframe. So total 4000 plus screens I have designed for this project Bass Parlor. So yeah, it's important. And the journey mapping, it's almost same. Like we have journey mapping, user flow, information architecture. So set the architecture of the product. Like we have a home page, like Zomato's home page. So what are all the components, elements or features are going to come on the home page? कि home page पे क्या क्या आएगा वो सब रख दिया हमने एक स्क्रीन में कि हमारे पास सर्च आएगा, ऑर्डर का आएगा, जो भी आएगा, रेस्टोरेंट्स, कैफे, रिकमेंडेड, वो सब आएगा. तो दिस इज इंफॉर्मेशन आर्किटेक्चर. एंड देन फ्लो स्टार्ट्स कि कहाँ से कहाँ जाएगा. दिस इज फ्लो.
Okay, I have one more interesting part which I'm sure most of our audience might not know. Apart from being a UX leader, you have also played a very vital role in becoming a mentor,
Okay.
like the fairy godmother for the UX designers. So tell me, how did that journey actually started? Like you became a mentor, you built a community around it, and now and thanks to my sneaking in skills, I actually happened to come across one of your YouTube video, then gradually your YouTube community, and then your WhatsApp community to understand what you actually do.
Okay, so when I started my career in IT, so it was good initially. I was happy because सबको अच्छा लगता है स्टार्टिंग में पैसा आता है जॉब लगती है बट स्लोली ग्रेजुअली आई एम अर्निंग गुड एवरीथिंग इज गुड बट स्टिल आई वॉज नॉट सेटिस्फाइड विद माई वट आई एम डूइंग माई गोल इज डेफिनेटली IT में नहीं है मेरा फ्यूचर मेरा गोल. So I wanted to do something maybe in entrepreneurship or maybe some community or something like that. Then I started a community, not because of earning mindset, just to see like what challenges, the young designers are facing. Because when I started my journey 8 years back, so I was facing the same problem or challenges, but there was no one to guide me, to mentor me at that time. So I thought like ठीक है जो challenges हो रहे हैं लोगों को, so I फील एम्पैथेटिक कि ठीक है कुछ करते हैं उनका हेल्प करते हैं सो मे बी मतलब आई फील लाइक उनका कुछ अच्छा होगा तो मुझे अच्छा लगता है इवन आई एम गेटिंग गूजबम राइट नाउ आई डोंट नो व्हाई बिकॉज व्हेन इन माय कम्युनिटी एनीबडी इज गेटिंग जॉब सो आई फील लाइक वेरी प्राउड ओके सो दिस पर्सन दिस student is getting job and he is happy or she is happy. That was my thinking to start the community. And it's good, people trust me like okay so she's there to help us anytime if people is facing problem in their case studies or getting jobs so they come to me and ask like ma'am I'm getting this problem. So I was like don't call me ma'am, it's feel like a senior person. I'm not that senior, I'm just just like you. So that's the reason I started the community and it's going good and I have many other plans. Maybe you can soon you can see in upcoming months. So yeah, that's the plan. And definitely in IT, I don't have any goals because IT is not a culture for me. So yeah, that is.
So as a mentor, I'm sure you must have advised a lot of people around. किसी ने तो बोला होगा आपको, किसी ने तो सोचा होगा, that's the secret sauce. ये है वो secret UX का जो मुझे पता होना चाहिए था.
Okay.
What according to you would have that?
So there are a lot of things, secret sauce, what we call, a lot of things in UI UX. So first when I explained about UI UX क्या होता है तो सबसे पहले UI is not a thing like to make the things pretty only. UI or UX is a combined term because UX is nothing without UI and UI is nothing without UX. So it's a combined term and what I give them advice is just to focus on the process. There is two terms, outcome and output. So people more focus toward output. Output includes your user journey or wireframe, UI designs, some components, buttons, icons. These are the outputs. And outcome is the process of the application of the product, the research and empathy and like challenges, pain points, how to solve them. So there are two things. One is outcome and output. And in this, we have another two things, which is why and how. Always ask question why. If we are doing this, then ask why. Why we are doing this? What is the rationale behind this? And how we are doing this? How would I achieve this, whatever I'm going to achieve? So this is two things I always advise to my, younger designers.
Okay, you have been advising and mentoring a lot of people, but I'm sure you, in your days of as a mentee, you must have experienced an advice that worked for you. Would you be able to remember, recollect, कौन था, क्या वो advice था, which worked for you?
Yes, there were many mentors I had in my initial career days. So there were two people like who influenced me a lot. One from my first organization who took my first ever interview, and in second organization. So they were the people who always guided me. You are good in what you're doing. You are good in UI skills, and you're good in empathy. So UI एक time पे आके stop हो जाएगा, but empathy UX will be going on. So trust the process, what you are doing, and trust yourself, and be a professional in your this is just a personal advice they were giving me, like just be a professional, like whatever they are doing, just be professional. Don't be so personal with the user. If you are going personal with the user, so maybe you were not getting what you know wanted to looking for. Sometimes ऐसा होता है.
Basically, empathy में I've heard this term,
हाँ.
be empathetic but not be sympathetic.
Exactly. That's the point. Because जब आप sympathetic हो जाओगे तो शायद वो इतना open आपसे उस challenges को लेके नहीं होंगे. So that's the thing I got from my mentors.
So if you have to create, and this is for the audience who doesn't know what is UI UX, want to get into UX and UI, and want to explore whether it is for them or not. If you have to create a crash course,
Okay.
what would be the ingredients that you would put in for somebody who doesn't know anything about the domain and they're exploring it for the first time? One, I want you to first let me know क्या क्या होना चाहिए, क्या नहीं होना चाहिए,
Okay.
और उससे पहले before even they jump into the course उन्हें क्या पता होना चाहिए.
So there are 3 questions. So I'll take the first. पहले क्या पता होना चाहिए. So before they jumping into UI UX course or in career, तो उनको ये पता होना चाहिए कि एक क्वेश्चन आता है कि पैसा कितना है, तो पैसा नहीं है स्टार्टिंग में. दिस इज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन अगर आपको आना है तो. सेकेंड इज कि अबाउट UI UX का बेसिक यू शुड हैव सम नॉलेज. एंड लर्निंग फिग्मा और टूल्स इज नॉट like what is UI UX. It's a tool to create your thoughts. Just a tool. तो वो टूल कोई भी सीख सकता है. तो आप सीखने के बाद खुद को UI UX डिजाइनर मत बोलो until you know like how to solve that problem. Creating is different thing, solving is different thing.
What the course should have and the course should not have.
Okay, so course should have starting beginner or advanced. We can stretch from beginner to advanced. So in beginner course we have we should have about the tools knowledge, about UI knowledge, UI components, like design system, how design system works, and how design system, we can create how design system looks like. And then we, jump towards UX, because UI, I know, okay, so this is a UI, creating beautiful UIs and everything. Then what UX is, because UX is the structure of the application. UX is the whole, scaffold, you can say, for the application. So for UX, we should have about, problem solving skills we need to teach the students. Like how we can teach the problem solving skills. We just, ask the user to, improve your observation. If you're sitting in a room, like us, we are sitting in a room. So we can observe things like, okay, so is there any problem in this room physically? Because UX is all about physical products as well. Like we are sitting in a sofa, in a couch. So is it comfortable? We are sitting on this couch. If it is comfortable, it means it has a good UX. If it's not, then it has some problem. So this is a UX. सो इन रियल लाइफ भी हम उसको एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं. सबसे पहले ये बताना ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि मैं अपने स्टूडेंट्स को, जो भी, नॉट स्टूडेंट्स, ऑल स्टूडेंट्स, बट दे आर सम बिगर एक्सपीरियंस पीपल आर देयर. सो आई ऑलवेज टीच देम और एडवाइज देम, लाइक इफ यू आर लर्निंग UX, just to explore like what you have around in your surroundings. If you are that observation कि ठीक है यार कुछ तो problem है, तो वो अपने आप ग्रेजुअली इट विल इंक्रीज. बिकॉज व्हेन आई वाज ट्रैवलिंग अपने करियर डेज में, तो आई यूज्ड टू सी अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स लाइक बिल बोर्ड्स, होर्डिंग्स. ओके, सो UX प्रॉब्लम है, टाइपोग्राफी प्रॉब्लम है. अगर इतना ऑब्जर्वेशन आपके अंदर आएगा तो कोई सिखाने की नीड ही नहीं है, वो खुद से पैशनेट होके आएगा. तो दैट इज like UX we should have in our course, to teach the students.
So if I understand correctly, if somebody wants to get into UX or UI design, apart from being empathetic or apart from learning any digital tools, be it Figma or any other tool, the most important tool that they should understand deeply is the observation, right?
Correct.
So observation, अगर थोड़ा सा और deep जाए, किस टाइप की observation, कैसे observe करना है?
So we are talking about UX observation, कि observation कैसे strong करें, कैसे देखें कि क्या है, क्या सही है, क्या नहीं है इसमें. तो if you are using any of the website, government website, and we explored that website, and let's take example of I wanted to search something in the website, and I was not able to find search website में. So that's the problem कि मुझे search करने के लिए search ढूंढना पड़ रहा है. So this is a problem in many websites, not only government websites but many other websites. So this is the observation कि मुझे जब problem हुई तो मुझे feel हुआ कि हाँ मुझे ये problem हो रही है क्योंकि मुझे ये मिल नहीं रहा है. अगर मुझे कुछ submit करना है, maybe form और कुछ भी, and I'm not able to find the button submit, or maybe submit button is there but the button will not look like a clickable. So मुझे लगेगा इस पे क्लिक करना है कि नहीं करना है, बिकॉज क्लिकेबल लगने के लिए भी बटन को आपको वो एफोर्डेंस देना पड़ता है कि जस्ट क्लिक मी. अगर वो नहीं लग रहा है तो यूजर विल सर्च कुछ और कि यार कहीं कहाँ क्लिक करना है. तो दीज आर द ऑब्जर्वेशंस यू हैव टू मेक योर ऑब्जर्वेशन सो मच स्ट्रॉन्ग कि आप जब एक्सप्लोर करो तो आपको लगे कि हाँ मतलब कुछ मिसिंग है. तो दीज आर द यूएक्स थिंग.
Okay, I'm sure you must have experienced a lot of clients in kind of project you would have done. Would you be able to share a story that is one of the most weirdest one, a weirdest behavior, anything?
Yeah, I face a lot of clients or users, which, I found a weird one. But on the other hand, maybe they were not that much educated towards the product or the technology. So when I was, in my second or third organization, don't remember exactly. So I was just doing a research, user research. So I made a prototype. It was my freelance project. So I made a prototype and I, went to users just to, check कि जो मैंने बनाया is it like how much is it good or bad. So I tried to ask them कि कैसा लग रहा है, use करके देखो. So they would try to click on the screen anywhere. So then I was like कि why are you clicking everywhere on the screen? We have CTAs like click to, call to action buttons. So try to find those buttons and, fulfill your goal. So they were like कहीं तो click करने से कहीं तो जाएंगे. तो आई एम लाइक इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. ऐसा नहीं होता है. आपको दिख रहा है कि लिंक्स है या आपका कोई बटन है, आपको कहीं जाना है, नेविगेशंस है, तो आप वहाँ क्लिक करके नेक्स्ट स्क्रीन पे जाएंगे ना. कि ऐसा नहीं कहीं भी क्लिक कर देंगे तो कहीं तो जाएंगे. सो दैट वाज द वियर्डेस्ट फीडबैक आई एनकाउंटर्ड. सो इट वाज वेरी फनी. And that uncle was not very user friendly, मतलब tech savvy person. So that was also
So now you tell me about a story of a client, like a very weird client,
right.
a very difficult one.
Yeah, I handled that bus parlor which I told you, my project. So that client was very difficult to handle. So because when I, everything is approved, the features, requirement, everything was approved. Then I jumped on the solution and I have, drafted more than 3-4 solution and he was like, no, this is not looking good. Create something new. Create something unique out of the box. So after 4-5, जो भी samples I have drafted, after that I, ask my lead like, okay, so we need to set up a call with the client and ask them like what exactly he want. बिकॉज ऐसे तो हम बनाते रहेंगे और ही इज लाइक नहीं ये नहीं चाहिए ये नहीं चाहिए. तो ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड उनको क्या चाहिए. मे बी कलर थी, मे बी सम सॉर्ट ऑफ डिजाइन, सम एलिमेंट्स दे नीड, सम इंटरेक्शन. तो it was very tough to sort those things. And in service companies में, not in service but in every companies में client is a god. बिकॉज क्लाइंट को हैंडल करना इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. एक बार को हम प्रोसेस को साइड में रख सकते हैं बट क्लाइंट नहीं जाना चाहिए बिकॉज पैसा वही दे रहा है. तो दिस इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. तो फिर हमने कॉल सेटअप किया. देन वी टॉक टू देम कि भाई क्या चाहिए, यू कैन शेयर सम रेफरेंसेस सो आई कैन वर्क ऑन इट. Then he shared. Then again we start the process and everything from scratch. Then finally we jump on the solution. So yeah.
So what was actually the solution? I'm curious to know.
Solution, he wants something, some bigger cards on the home page. We were trying to use the space in small cards or something like that, but he want a bigger space or some bigger cards on the screen. It's a client thing, so you cannot do anything. So then we try to use those bigger cards or some different color branding and all. So yeah.
Okay, let me put you on the spot. Imagine you are going to advise a few tips, tricks, advices to your 18-year-old. What those advices would be?
The first thing, it's like trust the process and it's okay if, sometimes it's okay if, things don't go as planned, because what I planned, after, before 8 years or 7 years back, it is not like jo abhi ho raha hai. So trust the process, believe in yourself, stay grounded, and things will go, in the flow. And definitely, maybe, what I'm planning right now will not happen after 1 year. Something will happen. So this is the process. This is the journey. Just go with the flow. And yeah, that's the thing I will, tell to my, younger self, 18-year-old.
Okay, I have a last question. Let's look at the future of UX. I would ask you two questions, two parts. One, how do you foresee the next decade of UX design? And what is the impact AI or any other technology can have on the UX skills or the skills that are basically required for a UX designer?
So first question, the future of UX would be, in my point of view, is, evolving slowly. And it's not like right now what we are seeing UX. UX will be very different after 10 years or 5 years or upcoming years, because everybody needs now UX designer अपने product के लिए, because everybody wants their product stand out. तो UX बहुत important होने वाला है. Every company को UX designer की need है. और UX is a process of solving problems, or how we are solving problems. This is also part of UX or research, what we can say. UX, user research or user experience. This is the two terms, which is interdependent. And if we talk about AI, so AI will definitely take over some part of UI for the, startups or some beginners, so they can, do their job with the help of AI, because right now also people are using to generate their logos with the help of AI. So that is okay कि आप initial stage पे AI का help ले रहे हो. But if we talk about a bigger scale, for the MNCs or bigger brand, so AI के designs को will not approve, people will not like. So definitely we need some human touch कि ये बना दिया, अब इसको अच्छा कैसे करना है. Modification will be needed. So AI help करेगा आपको suggestions देने में, what you prompt कि भाई this is my problem, this is my challenge, or this is the research I have done. So you have to prompt everything, then AI will give you a result. अभी recently I've heard कि ChatGPT पे you can share your screen or you can do a video call. But my question is like, how secure is this? I am to never going to do, share my screen to ChatGPT, जिसमें मेरा बैंक डिटेल्स है स्पेसिफिकली. तो और प्रोडक्ट कंपनी भी ऑब्वियसली दे विल नॉट यूज ChatGPT और अपना डेटा शेयर करना, लीक करना, दे विल नॉट डू इट. सो आई डोंट थिंक ये इतना करेगा. बट हाँ, जितना आपको डेटा चाहिए यू कैन टेक फ्रॉम AI, यू कैन टेक अ हेल्प फ्रॉम AI. बट AI फुली टेक ओवर, आई डोंट थिंक कि वो कर सकता है.
Any last thoughts that you would convey to our audience, specifically the ones who are looking for entering into the UX and UI industry?
So one last thought or maybe suggestion I can share, like if you're entering into the field of UI UX, so don't enter with the hope like I am getting this much, money, or I will be a UI UX designer in 1 year or 2 year. It will take time to reach that certain level, because it takes a lot of efforts or, to understand the user, solving their problem. एंड जब आप जाते हो तो आप बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस फेस करते हुए देखते जाते हो कि आई वॉज डीलिंग विद लॉट ऑफ क्लाइंट्स जो बहुत डिफिकल्ट थे, बट स्टिल आई ओवरकम विद दोज क्लाइंट्स. सो दैट वॉज एक्सपीरियंस. So that experience makes you a perfect UI UX designer. That learning Figma, learning tools, talking to few people, making networking will not make you a UI UX designer. So that's my suggestion. Just trust the process, learn whatever you can learn, how much you can learn, just learn, read a lot, talking to people about their learning their failures. It's not like you are just hiding your failures. Just show them, so this is the step, this is the place I failed a lot time, many times, so how can I improve. Criticism in a good way is important in UI UX, because if you are creating a tree of pink color, so I cannot say wow this is good, because tree is a green color, right? So criticism in that way is a good and healthy criticism, which is important as well for, to grow, for your growth and all. So yeah, that's the thing. Like, just be open, just be, honest with the people like whom you're working with. So yeah, that's the suggestion from my side.
Thank you, Shaily, for coming over and sharing the insights of your career. I'm sure these insights will help a lot of aspiring designers to take the right call of their decision.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. And I hope it will be helpful for the aspiring designers.
Thank you for watching the video till the end. I hope it added value. Please like, share, and subscribe. And do let me know in the comments if you want me to explore any other career.